story will focus on the figure, the hero, who likes to wear his underwear on the outside, who else if not Superman, who at that time is being dragged by a superdog named Krypto towards his secret base, to be healed by being directly exposed to sunlight, which is the main source of Superman's power itself. After recovering from his wounds, Superman rushes to fly to the city center to face a troublemaking robot named Ultraman, which is controlled remotely by Lex Luthor, a figure of a man who is rich, a genius, evil, cruel, and possesses a head with no hair. Without Superman realizing, the fight just now turned out to be just a distraction for Lex to figure out the location of Superman's secret base. Lex had already sent one of his subordinates named Engineer to conduct tracking when Superman was being healed earlier.
Thank you. We'll need more.
Comes 1 to 2.
The next day, after Superman lost to Ultraman yesterday, Superman returns to his normal life as a reporter at the Daily Planet newspaper under the pseudonym Clark Kent. There, he has a sweetheart he has long been dating named Lois Lane, who already knows about his true identity. At the same time, at the location of Superman's secret base, Lex and his subordinate are seen already there. By using DNA belonging to Superman which he took from the location of the previous battle, Lex can easily open the entrance gate to that base. There, Engineer, who is a former Special Forces soldier turned into a nanotechnology combat machine, immediately destroys all of Superman's robot servants and sabotages the systems in the base.
I'm creating a...
Engineer finding one important piece of data, which is a message from Superman's parents. The message is incomplete due to being cut off during transmission, perhaps because of a bad signal or an incompetent provider. Who knows? The point is, Engineer is capable of repairing the message and needs more time to recover the full message. Besides succeeding in capturing the dog, Krypto, who happened to be at the base, Lex has also sent a distraction to keep Superman busy. Lex sends a small monster that in just a few hours transforms into a giant monster. Not only is it big, this monster is also capable of resembling a chili-eating TikToker who can supposedly breathe fire from its mouth. So that. Not long after, Superman receives reinforcements from 3 other superheroes who call themselves the Justice Gang. There is Green Lantern, the hero whose power comes from a magic ring that can create various types of objects according to the user's imagination or thoughts. Second, there is Hawkgirl, the eagle girl who can fly and uses a metal mace as her main weapon. And lastly, there is Mr. Terrific, who is an ordinary human, only he is very genius and capable of creating sophisticated technology, one of which is T-spheres, or multifunctional robotic balls that he can control using his mind. Right after Mr. Terrific succeeds in defeating the monster using his robotic balls, shocking news appears about Superman related to the content of the message from his parents. Engineer has apparently succeeded in repairing the message, which Luthor then takes to one of the TV stations to be broadcast globally. In the translated message content, Superman's parents give a testament for Superman to find as many wives as possible on planet Earth, breed as rapidly as possible, and conquer planet Earth as the last son of the planet Krypton.
I'm scared. Who knows is already...
That instantly makes everyone who initially regarded Superman as a hero now see him as a threat and a source of fear. This includes the Justice Gang themselves, who demand a direct explanation from Superman. However, before the chat is even finished, Superman suddenly realizes where Luthor got that message, so he immediately flies towards his secret base.
I'm sorry.
Krypto? Krypto!
Sees the base and his robot servants ransacked and his nephew's pet dog kidnapped. Superman quickly flies to meet Luthor at his corporate office to demand Krypto the dog be returned.
What did you say?
After Luthor refuses to admit his actions, Superman goes home to complain to Lois, his lover, regarding the news about himself that he couldn't possibly have the heart to conquer planet Earth. Lois, of course, believes him because she knows the figure of Superman very well. And to calm everyone down so they don't worry, Superman will voluntarily surrender himself to the United States government to be imprisoned according to applicable laws. Because a conventional prison would possibly not be able to confine a figure like Superman, the government collaborates with Luthor to imprison Superman in another dimension called the Pocket Universe. This is an artificial universe separated from the real world, created directly by this genius figure of Luthor. Upon arrival in the artificial universe, Superman immediately enters a glass cage together with another prisoner who is a mutant named Metamorpho. He has the ability to change his body into various kinds of matter, including kryptonite stone, which is the main weakness of Superman. Just like Superman and the other prisoners in this place, Metamorpho is forced to be here because his son was kidnapped and held hostage. So he has no other choice but to do whatever Luthor orders.
You be sure to keep our guests in check. I'll be back tomorrow to get the answers we need.
Switching to Lois, who is told by her co-worker regarding the location where Superman is imprisoned. This co-worker named Jimmy is secretly in a relationship with Luthor's girlfriend, so he knows a lot of information related to the figure of Lex Luthor.
See what you can find out.
Lex is holding Superman in a pocket universe.
A what?
Quickly, Lois meets the Justice Gang at their headquarters to tell them where Superman is located. Instead of expecting help from fellow hero friends, Green Lantern actually never considered Superman a friend and chooses to be indifferent to that information.
Superman, he's your friend.
Different from his two friends, Mr. Terrific becomes the only person willing to help Lois save Superman using the sophisticated technology he possesses. Mr. Terrific will accompany Lois to go to the location where Superman is.
We'll take my ride.
2 hours later.
Arriving at the campsite location, which is where the portal to the artificial universe is located, Mr. Terrific immediately deploys all his robotic balls to incapacitate Luthor's troops there, and this is what happens. Done with Luthor's troops, Mr. Terrific immediately sabotages the computer to open the portal gate to the artificial universe. Right at the same time, Luthor is seen bringing a man who often gives free food to Superman. Luthor makes that man a hostage to interrogate Superman, so he will open his mouth about who his closest people are all this time. However, because Superman refuses to answer, Luthor immediately shoots the man dead right in front of Superman's own eyes. Not long after Luthor leaves, Metamorpho begins to sympathize with Superman and removes the kryptonite stone from his hand. He is finally willing to cooperate to escape from this place on the condition that Superman must bring along his son to be saved. Because Superman needs sunlight to restore his powers, Metamorpho is asked to create an artificial sun. With his ability to mimic all kinds of matter in the universe, he succeeds in creating an artificial sun.
Okay.
After his powers recover, Superman immediately saves Metamorpho's child and Krypto the dog. Just as they are about to escape, Luthor's troops appear and swiftly block them. As a result of the fight just now, Superman is swept away by a river called the Proton River, leading to a black hole. When Krypto the dog and Metamorpho are unable to perform a rescue, Superman immediately performs his super breath. After they succeed in getting out of the artificial universe, Mr. Terrific orders Lois to immediately take Superman to a safe place. Meanwhile, he will stay here trying to close this portal forever. However, that is immediately discovered by Luthor, who quickly opens his artificial universe to tear into the real world in order to track Superman's whereabouts.
Now we know where he'll be next.
When Superman is resting at his foster parents' house, a conflict occurs in a country named Jarhanpur, where the president of the country of Barovia, named Fasil, is about to massacre all the people of Jarhanpur. That action is not inseparable from Luthor's interference, because Facil is a close associate of Luthor as well as a main donor to his company. At a time when everyone hates Superman, the people of Jarhanpur become the only country that still regards Superman as a hero and hope. However, just as he is about to go save them, Superman is already distracted by another problem, namely the tearing of the artificial universe. So, while Superman and Mr. Terrific handle the problem in the city center, Green Lantern and Hawkgirl are sent to save the people of Jarhanpur, including Metamorpho, who also joins in. Done with the affairs of the people of Jarhanpur as well as the Barovian president Facil, who also dies dropped by Hawkgirl, now we return to Superman, who is suddenly attacked by Engineer and Ultraman. Superman is truly made overwhelmed by both of them, especially when Engineer releases her nanotechnology, which enters Superman's body through his mouth.
What's his game?
Superman manages to overcome the problem by flying into outer space, then shooting down to drop himself at a very high speed. As a result of the hard impact just now, Engineer dies on the spot. Meanwhile, for Ultraman, he manages to survive, because it turns out Ultraman is not a robot, but a clone of Superman that Luthor deliberately created from the Superman DNA sample he found.
That's right. 22K!
Possessing the same physical endurance and strength, Ultraman is able to match the abilities Superman has. The difference is, this knockoff Superman has a brain that is less intelligent, so he moves according to the instructions given by Luthor. While being pressed, that's when Superman immediately whistles to call for backup. Who else if not Krypto the dog, who immediately chomps down one by one on Luthor's drones that he has been using to observe the fight remotely. That means Luthor can no longer give instructions accurately, which makes Ultraman easily defeated. Because Ultraman can no longer be relied upon, Luthor sends all his Raptor troops to come and mob him. Done with everything, Superman and Mr. Terrific go to Luthor's office to stop the tearing of the artificial universe, which is getting wider. Mr. Terrific succeeds in stopping it just in time. As for Superman, he is curious about what is the main motivation for Luthor constantly persecuting him. It turns out, Luthor is just envious, spiteful, and jealous of Superman's popularity, who is more loved by the people than himself, a wealthy genius. Luthor cannot contain himself over Superman's achievements, which is why he constantly looks for flaws in Superman, even recklessly sacrificing many lives, including collaborating with the president of Barovia, just to sink Superman's career on the international stage. Right after Luthor is beaten by Krypto, the dog, news regarding Luthor's involvement with the president of Barovia is exposed to the media thanks to the help of Lois and her journalist colleagues. So ends Luthor's career, who all this time has always sought fame, image building, and pretending to be a good person in front of everyone. At the same time, Green Lantern and friends receive a warm welcome from the people of Jarhanpur, who thank them for their help. Hawkgirl invites Metamorpho to join the Justice Gang, but Green Lantern immediately rejects him with the excuse that he has an ugly physique.
Justice Gang? That's a cool name. They're in.
After everything is finished, all of Luthor's prisoners are released from the artificial universe prison. Meanwhile, for Luthor himself, he is immediately taken by the police to be tried according to the crimes he has committed. Superman himself is seen going to his base to check on the robot servants, who are now finished being repaired. Meanwhile, for Krypto the dog, he finally meets again with his owner, Supergirl, who is Superman's niece, known to still like partying and nightlife, but not on planet Earth. Finally, we are shown Superman complaining about Mr. Terrific's work, which is not tidy enough in repairing the building damage caused by the tearing of the artificial universe. That makes Mr. Terrific offended and annoyed, because walls and buildings are not his main field of work.
What do you want me to do?
The message of this film is that kindness is actually the ultimate form of rebellion in a cynical world. James Gunn wants to make it clear that being sincere, polite, and hopeful isn't a weakness. It's actually a massive strength that defines a real hero. Through Clark Kent, who embraces humanity even though he's an outsider, the movie teaches us that being super isn't just about physical power. It's about having the courage to choose peace and hope, even when the rest of the world is choosing violence. I'm Jack, representing the entire crew on duty. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Adios.